Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Majors Live, episode 299 here on TMSNX Radio, themajors.net. I am Adam Hernandez. With me, as always, Dorf. Shawn not here. Dorf, how you doing tonight, man?
I'm good.
Good.
Shawn usually is on some sort of last-second unannounced business trip, but no, he's in the upper portions of our fine state here in Michigan, family reunion up in the Traverse City area, which is just beautiful.
Are you going to give him shit when he comes back?
I don't know, man.
Because he gave you shit when you were gone a few weeks ago. I just want to know.
What was I going for again? I forget.
I don't know. I think you...
Oh, I was up north.
No, you're at your brother's wedding.
Oh, yeah, he was giving me shit. Yeah, brother's wedding.
I want to know if you're going to give him shit in return, which I think you should.
Oh, fine. Yeah, why not?
Yeah, good. Anyways.
We'll always give each other shit here. That's what kind of family we are.
Like I said, everybody, $2.99 here tonight. It's going to be kind of an abbreviated show, and I'm going to just go ahead and say this now. We're not going to be on next week. We're going to kind of plan around a big, or do what we can to get a bigger 300th episode.
Like a reunion show.
Yeah, show going.
Get the original cast of characters back.
Yeah, we're going to try to get some other people in here too. Josh, Nick. I might want to try to get Aaron, see if any of the other older guys want to come in too, like Timmel and maybe Tip from the old Grouty days as well. So who knows? We'll see what we can do for that 300th episode. So that is probably, I don't have my calendar up. It's definitely not going to be happening next week. Maybe the following week. I don't know, because I know we have Labor Day weekend.
Labor Day weekend is the weekend after that.
Oh, it is the weekend after that?
Yes.
Okay. So, yeah, we won't be on for 2 weeks then. So, yeah, we'll be on the weekend after Labor Day then.
So it'll be like the 3rd?
That'll be the return. It should be a big show, too, because we'll have football and everything back, college football.
Yeah, here we will.
So, yeah, it's gonna be a bigger show.
A lot of stuff to do.
Yeah.
It's going to set up like 17 microphones in here.
But anyways, stay tuned for that. I also want to plug Patreon as well, patreon.com/themajors. Give us your money. We got prizes.
Damn. I at least, when I host one of our other shows here, the Motor City Uncut one, I'm at least like polite and subtle when I try and promote our Patreon. Adam's just like, bitch, where's my money?
Please give us your money. Help us out. We're just
please feed the children. If not, poor Jackson Hernandez won't eat this month.
We're just a little independent sports media, whatever you want to call us. People get pissed off at us, try to say we're one thing. We're trying to emulate somebody, which we're not. We're not. Anyways,
TMZ Detroit.
We got that before. No, we're not that. They were even calling us, somebody called us CNN because we were fake news at one point.
You are fake news.
Which I can assure you we're not that either. So we're not fake news. We're not as big as CNN. So sorry.
Can we have CNN's budget though?
I'd love to have
Hey, please give us your money on Patreon so we can have CNN's budget.
I'd love to have CNN's budget. That'd be phenomenal.
And then you know what? If you want us to be fake news, we'll be fake news.
Yeah.
We'll just turn into like that totalprosports.com, which is just like the Onion.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
The Onion does have some sports stuff.
Yeah, the Onion Sports Dome.
Yeah, it's great. I love it.
If that's what you want us to do once we get CNN money,
yeah,
I think we could oblige.
Our fan question tonight, which I'm going to be interested to get Dorf's take on this later on. Does the MLB need to eventually move to an electronic strike zone? This is Ben Zobrist bitching the other night about the strike zone, saying that it needs to go to an electronic strike zone. So I'm going to be interested to hear Dorf's take on that because he does do umpiring in his spare time. So don't say anything yet, Dorf.
I'm being good.
I could see you in the corner of my eye, like slowly working your way into the microphone.
I was just collecting my thoughts. That's all.
The leadoff tonight, though, is Jerry Jones is an enabling dirtbag. And this all goes, and it's not just from the Ezekiel Elliott thing going on right now, where he's suspended 6 games by the NFL for violating the league's personal conduct policy. And this stems back from, was it last year, Dorf? When he beat the shit out of his
allegedly
beat the shit out of his girlfriend, despite the massive amounts of evidence.
That was actually between his end of his career at Ohio State and the draft, I believe. Actually,
yeah, but TMZ did obtain pictures of this girl's arm, her chest area. I can't remember if there was anything on her face, but bruises up and down. The mounting evidence didn't look good, and the NFL. I don't know whether they were taking their time with it or they just got around to it and wanted to preserve Ezekiel Ansah's rookie season. Who knows?
Ezekiel Elliott.
Ezekiel Elliott. Sorry, Ezekiel Ansah. Definitely not him. Ezekiel Elliott. Excuse me. I'm in Detroit. We have Ezekiel Ansah here too.
Defensive end,
yeah.
Former first-round pick.
Yeah. So sorry.
You slandering bastard.
Ezekiel Elliott. But that very well could have been the case knowing the NFL. They could have been trying to preserve his rookie season and get Dallas all the everything they could with that, since Dallas is Dallas and Jerry Jones is Jerry Jones. Who knows?
It's Jerry's world. The NFL is just working in it.
But I want to really touch on this whole Ezekiel Elliott thing really, really quickly here, just because he is going to appeal. He's probably going to appeal Tuesday. He has until Wednesday to make that appeal. Like I said, the evidence against him is
pretty substantial.
It's pretty substantial, and it's not just this that he could end up punished for. Dorf. He did have that bar brawl this past summer.
That as well, yeah.
And there was also that incident this past St. Patrick's Day where he allegedly exposed a woman's breast during a party. So there's that he's going to have to probably eventually contend with, and in which case the NFL could go and pop him for. Not only that, the NFL gave themselves an out with all of this too, which I don't know if it's smart or what, or if the NFL's learning, from past experience here. They made it known to Elliott that the next time he fucks up, they could throw him out of the league. And they made that known to him. They made it apparent to him. They addressed that to him. That if he fucks up, and it sounds like it doesn't matter if he's getting pulled over or if he goes and does something like this again, where he goes and, it is involved in any type of domestic assault, that the NFL can throw him out of the league and he can apply for reinstatement 1 year later. Which I'm sure he'll probably be let back in, and he'd get big.
They've let Josh Gordon back in 7,000 times.
Yes. Yes. So there is that. And like I said, we're going to know more about this after Tuesday, probably, whether or not he gets his suspension reduced, or if he ends up taking this to federal court, which is what Tom Brady did. And we all know the fiasco.
If you look at the statements put out by Elliott's legal team, let's call it agent, lawyer, etc., looks like they're ready for war.
It certainly does sound like that. Yeah.
It seems like that they're convinced that this all is a witch hunt, just meant to.
Which has become a very popular term these past several months.
After Ezekiel Elliott, regardless of the evidence or whatever, because essentially he's embarrassed the brand, he's embarrassed the shield, and that's enough to get suspended on the personal conduct policy, and they're going to fight that tooth and nail, even if it involves, federal court.
The thing is, though, too, Dorf, when you're dealing with this, and it's not something that, really Tom Brady had to deal with, considering, we're talking apples and oranges, considering what they're,
Tom Brady's was a suspension for on-field activities.
Tom Brady's was an actual witch hunt.
Yeah.
If you want,
and it turned into we're going to suspend you because you embarrassed us, and try me to a giant dick measuring contest from both sides.
Yeah. But
unfortunately, the NFL won there.
Yep, the NFL won that one. As far as this goes, though, the whole Ezekiel Elliott thing, you got to be careful going to court over something like this, because if you do go to court over something like this,
everything becomes public record.
Everything becomes public, and you may not want to do that much digging. If I'm Elliott, I take my medicine. I learn from this. I mature from it.
So you still appeal at the NFL level. You just don't fight it all the way to court.
I appeal at the NFL level. If I don't win, fine. I'll sit around.
Take your meds.
I'll take my meds. Weeks. I'll learn from it. And that's it. I'm not doing anything. I'm not taking this to court. Because to me, 6 games worth of paychecks isn't worth the potential gamble you're taking with the rest of your career.
The long-term longevity.
And I'm speaking from a total shallow aspect here. Strictly NFL, strictly Dallas Cowboys. That's it. Because when it comes down to the, when you bottom line this whole thing, Elliott's just another guy in the NFL that gets a second chance after being a total and complete
douche canoe
fucking asshole. And you have a guy like Jerry Jones who is going and enabling something like this. And Jason Lockenfora for CBS Sports wrote a piece for CBSSports.com basically stating that Jerry Jones needs to shut his fucking mouth when it comes to all of this, because Jerry Jones was the one up there parading around, especially when the New England Patriots were dealing with their whole Deflategate thing and, going back and forth with the commissioner's office. Jerry Jones was the one up there saying that, Roger Goodell is the one that needs to make the tough decision. So you basically need to respect whatever it is he comes up with, whatever determination that he makes. However, during the Hall of Fame game broadcast, Jerry Jones went along and said something like this. Well, this is what he did say, because it's a quote. The domestic violence is not an issue. Zeke has had some other things that have been looked at and are being looked at. But from the domestic violence issue, there's not an issue. I think that my hope is that Zeke is with us opening night, and I don't want to get into anything that might in any way influence negatively that decision from the league office. This, of course, despite the evidence that is mounted against Ezekiel Elliott in last year's domestic assault investigation. Now, again, I may be being a little unfair here and going along with the court of public opinion and saying that Zeke Elliott is guilty. I'm just going off the mounted evidence against him. But for Jerry Jones to come out and say something like this, despite that evidence, and despite a 6-game ban not even being heard in, through appeals, what kind of image does this give the rest of the NFL? Is this how far down the ladder here does this hurt the NFL in regards to what Elliott did to begin with, allegedly did to begin with? Because right now, what we're seeing here from Jerry Jones is that he's a professional athlete. He should be getting special treatment here that other people, that you, Dorf, or myself wouldn't be getting otherwise. I mean, what kind of image? I mean, could you make the argument that this quote right here is also hurting the NFL, the NFL's image?
I absolutely think the overall, you're not hurting. You're going to have to do a lot worse than this to hurt the image of the NFL in the eyes of those who give a shit about it.
Sure.
Let's call them the pigskin diehards. You're going to need Roger Goodell to walk out on
the NFL's base fans.
Yeah, the NFL base. You're going to need Roger Goodell to walk out on Fifth Avenue and shoot somebody, and then video game teabag the body. In order, And even then, you probably only lose like 10% of support amongst the football diehards because people are junkies. And they want their football, they want their, modern gladiator sport, regardless of all the other things going on surrounding it. Those who are willing to, bitch at the NFL and try and hold it to a higher standard, this doesn't help.
Mm-hmm.
Because you know what? The whole attitude of we're special, so we deserve to be, treated specially in the eyes of the law, that's some holier than thou bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
That's, what Jerry Jones at the same time isn't, for those who care, was never held in high regard anyway, because he's a sleazebag. Not only is he, if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying in sports, he also cheats on his wife. So,
and this is the thing too, Dorf, is that Jerry Jones has developed a pattern regarding being an enabler.
He's at this point, he's Al Davis. This is an Al Davis quote: "Just win, baby, win."
Mm-hmm.
Jerry is a full blown believer in the church of just win, baby, win.
Yeah, and again, I just to me, the sense this is a
ends justify means.
Yeah, and to me, this is treading in water where the way that Jerry Jones is conducting himself in all of this, in the long run, may be more toxic for the NFL than anything else. Because this is essentially saying to your players that, you know what, despite whatever it is you do, I will always give you a second, third, fourth, and fifth chance on this team as long as you're good. As long as you're good. Now, the NFL has to be looking at this from a standpoint of how does this project our image on the rest of society? Because right now, what you're dealing with in this world, especially given who became the president, the whole grab them by the pussy thing. Because right now, what this is saying, especially to that girl who Zeke Elliott allegedly, beat up, is that even if I do go to the authorities, this guy is still going to be propped up by one of the most powerful brands in the world. And he's still going to make a really good living, and everybody's going to sit there and forget about what he did. And people are going to say that I am nothing more than a gold digger trying to get my paycheck out of them. That's why people have problems. That's why when you hear, individuals saying, well, why are they coming out now? How come they didn't come out years ago? Especially, I know this is a favorite of mine to go back onto, but the whole Penn State thing. This is why people don't come out until way after the fact.
It's not worth the personal risk to them for them to be perceived as crying wolves.
Exactly, Dorf. Exactly. Because you have guys out there like Joe Paterno, or in this sense, Jerry Jones,
who will ruin you,
and are saying that, what happened before is nothing. Because then when they go ahead and say something like that, then it's projected that, that person who's making that accusation is nothing more than just a liar.
Or just doing it for attention.
Exactly. So yeah, Dorf, you said it before the show that it was no secret that Jerry Jones is a sleazeball. He's a dirtbag. He's a scumbag. Whatever it is you want to call him. That's what Jerry Jones is. That's what Jerry Jones is in the NFL and in the sports world in general. But is this something that the NFL should continue to gloss over? Is it something?
So you're talking the actions of Jerry Jones or the actions of Zeke Elliott?
Well, I'll get to the Elliott thing here in a second.
So we're specifically dealing with Jerry Jones.
We're specifically dealing with Jerry Jones. Owners that continually show a pattern of giving these guys second chances and third chances. And you know what? It may not even be Ezekiel Elliott. You know what? Because right now we're working off of stuff that has happened before Ezekiel Elliott. You know what? I was going to save this for the TMSNX news at the end here, but the Dallas Cowboys. Let me go ahead and bring it up. Since 2014, hold on, give me a second. Okay, here we go. This comes from the big lead. Let's see. 13. This is the headline. 13 Dallas Cowboys have been suspended a total of 108 games since 2014. That came from the big lead. And
a lot of games.
Yep. And this came from, let's see here. Ezekiel Elliott, a few notes from the Irving piece, and I believe this originally came from ESPN. While there were 16 suspensions, it is 13 players because Randy Gregory has received 2 suspensions for a total of 30 games, and Rolando McClain 3 for a total of 30.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yep.
You know what Gregory was?
What's that?
Couldn't stop smoking weed.
Yep. Nolan Carroll and Damian Wilson, who have both been arrested this offseason, may add to the count. 3 players, Shaquille Evans, RJ Dill, and Joseph Randle, were no longer Cowboys by the time their suspensions began. But again, though, 13 Dallas Cowboys, suspended a total of 108 games since 2014. I cut you off, though, Dorf, I believe. So go ahead.
So we're talking, if we're talking just the actions of Jerry Jones, something should be done about it, but no, nothing will.
Mm-hmm.
Who are we kidding? Jerry's the real commissioner.
Well, he's one of them.
He's the real one. Honestly, when do you really ever hear from any other NFL owners now that Al Davis is gone?
You hear from you. Well, there's
who do you hear from?
You hear from Kraft.
Incredibly rarely.
Yeah, you do hear from him.
You go about a year in between hearing from him.
You heard from is it Bichetti? But that's strictly based off the Colin Kaepernick stuff.
Yeah, and you know what? That wasn't even him directly.
No,
it was a unnamed source report.
Who is the? I guess sometimes you heard from the owner of the Falcons. I forgot his name.
Arthur Blank.
Sometimes.
But it's not about issues like this.
No, it's not.
When have you ever heard from
the thing is, though,
Vikings ownership? When have you ever heard from Seahawks ownership? When have you ever heard from 49ers ownership?
What we
Other
have
than, like, we fired this coach, we fired this general manager, or here's this thing we're doing as an effort to help out our community.
The problem is, though, with all of that, Dorf, is none of those owners are also the team's general manager.
True story.
So,
I mean, if we're going to be technical, his son's the general manager.
Oh, yeah. The general manager.
Yeah.
People can see my air quotes now because we are on video. So
I don't think we can't even keep saying video's new anymore. We've been doing it for like 8 weeks.
I know. I think it's going a little smoother too.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Now that you figured out this whole, OBS mixing software.
Yeah. So I don't know. As far as Elliott goes, I can't ever remember I was going to go with that one. Other than, is the 6 game justifiable? Because I know Deadspin wrote
that is the guys who have been suspended less time for more, have been suspended more time for less. But this is the base suspension for first-time violation of the personal conduct policy.
Okay. I mean,
the NFL has no, consistency in sentencing guidelines.
And there's a Deadspin piece about that. It seems like the NFL continues to make this up as they go along.
Fuck it. Let's just, we're going to shoot from the hip. Let's do a quick public opinion poll.
What
does the public think that should happen to Zeke Elliott? And we'll do that.
And Roger Goodell still continues to be judge, jury, and executioner regarding all of this.
Fair, yeah, absolutely.
Anyways, anything else, Dorf?
Nah, let's get to them bitches and badasses.
All right, let me get the music rolling here.
All right. One.
What?
That's our outro.
Is it?
Yeah.
Not lately.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, how about this one?
Okay, that'll work.
Okay. Bitches and badasses. Dorf, who's your badass this week?
My badass this week is going to be Giancarlo Stanton for taking that home run title, commanding lead in the home run title race, hitting home run number 42. Now I think he's up 5 on Aaron Judge, so who's been ice cold since the All-Star break. So,
yeah, well, that's
why rookies shouldn't participate in the home run derby.
Not only that, I think that this is all on.
Cody Bellinger's kind of cool about too.
Well, this is all on Judge now too. This is all up to him to make those adjustments, and because
the league's adjusted to him.
The league's adjusted to him, so we're going to really see how good this guy actually is.
And it's like if you've seen any of the Stanton's last 5 or 6 home runs, no cheapies there.
Yeah,
it's just like absolute just destruction of baseball, denting it and hitting it 115 miles an hour out of the park.
Yeah,
crazy.
Absolutely. Actually, you know what? I totally fucked this up.
What'd you do?
I accidentally had 2 badasses here.
Yeah, I was gonna say, why are you bitching? The guy you were bitching there.
I didn't mean to. I meant I
had. Need to steal one of mine?
No, I got it because I think this is easy.
I'm double bitching.
You know what? I've got a bitch, and we just talked about it. I'm just gonna go with
Jerry Jones.
I'm just going with Jerry Jones. Yep.
All right.
Jerry Jones.
Fair enough.
So let me get this switched over.
Except I was doing badass. I just did badass, man. You just bitched.
Oh yeah.
Come on.
Yeah. Hold on. We'll do this right. Here we go.
Okay.
But my badass, I'm sorry, is Chad Bell. Or Chad Bettis. Excuse me. Chad Bettis returning from testicular cancer he had in the offseason that spread to his lymph nodes. Came back. Was it today? I think he was pitching today. Was it?
Yeah,
made his season debut today for the Colorado Rockies.
Trying to help him out in playoff hunt.
Yep. Underwent treatment this past November, I believe. So, yeah, good for him. Good to see him coming back. And hopefully he's beating this thing. It certainly does look like it if he's making his way back to Major League Baseball.
Let's hope so.
Let's hope it's gone for good and he's able to resume his career and resume his life. So, anyways. Here we go. There we go.
So you've already done your bitch. Your bitch is
My bitch is Jerry Jones. So yes, for everything that we talked about prior. But go ahead, Dorf.
I'm gonna double bitch here. So my first one is gonna be the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, 2016 second round pick, who they traded back up for, a kicker, Roberto Aguayo. They got him yesterday.
Why don't draft kickers?
So I don't draft kickers until round 6.
Don't have kickers.
And also, it's kind of a little bit old. This happened about 2 weeks ago. It's going to be the NCAA for the handling of the Donald Delahaye UCF kicker, former UCF kicker, who was forced to choose between his YouTube channel, which he made money off of, monetized, that didn't mention him being a UCF football player at all, just chronicling his life as a student. They made him choose between that and being a scholarship athlete. And he said, fuck you, I'm going to do YouTube. And so he's lost his scholarship and is now having to pay for his last semester of school. Last year of school, rather.
This is just... NCAA is awful. Awful. I mean, I
forgot to bring this up last week, otherwise this would have been my bitch last week.
You talk about just an evil organization.
We can make shit tons of money off you, but heaven forbid you make a couple extra $100. Fuck you.
Look,
your scholarship.
Look, I could understand, some of the restrictions.
He's never been in a video wearing his UCF gear. He's never actually explicitly mentioned that he's a kicker for the UCF football team ever. And you know what he doesn't do? Part of the YouTube thing is his subscriber level. You can have that super chat thing where you can take donations on live stream. He doesn't live stream.
And you see,
he literally only makes money for people viewing. And you know what people, this is kind of inside baseball here. You know what a CPM is when it comes to advertising?
Go ahead.
That's your ad rate that you get per 1,000 viewers.
Mm-hmm.
You know how much people make per 1,000 viewers?
Go ahead.
About $3. He was averaging in the 50 to 60,000 views per video range. He made $9 to $12 a video, and you're not okay with that.
And you see, Dorf, this is I could understand the NCAA having restrictions when it comes to you trying to make money off.
Oh yeah, I can understand. Not allowing guys to sell their autographs.
I
can get that.
I understand, but saying this kid can't conduct a YouTube channel that
it's a vlog,
and it has nothing to do at all with him playing football. To me, that's... We talk about, government getting involved with sports. Overreach? Yes. Getting involved with sports and, shit like that with the whole steroid thing. if government ever needs to get involved with something and pump the brakes on an organization overstretching their bounds,
letting some air out of the balloon of the NCAA.
Yes, it needs to be something like this. It needs to be the government, the federal government, bringing in the NCAA and saying, you know what, it's time to pump the brakes on this. You need to take a step back. You do not control every aspect of these kids' lives, because this is what they're trying to essentially do here, is control everything that these kids do. And it's wrong. It's absolutely wrong. But is that it, Dorf? Sorry, I kind of took over that.
No, good rant. Kind of echoed my sentiments on the subject.
Good.
I kind of said them too, so we're good.
Moving really quickly here, though, we're going to get into a little around the diamond. I want to start off with the Bryce Harper injury. It turns out it's just a deep bone bruise.
It's a bone bruise, no structural ligament damage. Could be no DL time. Could be done.
Well, he's on a 10-day DL.
Yeah, well, okay. It could be no more than 10 days. It could be the rest of the season. It's a bone bruise. We don't, there's no real great bracket for judging how long those take to feel better, because it's all really about pain tolerance.
So does this affect the Nationals stretch run and the rest of their season?
They are up. What did I have the standings up right here? They are currently up 13 and a half games in the NL East. I don't think it affects their ability to make the playoffs.
No, but if he's obviously gone for the playoffs or parts
it's
of the playoffs,
very, very, very unlikely that he wouldn't make it back in time.
All right. Who needs Justin Verlander more, Dorf? The Astros or the Yankees?
It is kind of an irrelevant question because there's no reason for Verlander to waive his no-trade clause.
I know.
Stros.
Astros?
Yep.
Because Tanaka did go on the DL, too.
And they were struggling. You know what? I don't care. Houston doesn't have anybody anyway.
Okay.
I mean, it's Dallas Keuchel and Lance McCullers is on the DL, too. And ... Who else pitches for Houston? Mike Fiers.
What will Jay Bruce do for Cleveland?
Not much.
Not much? All right. All right.
He might be worth a quarter win above replacement over what they were playing out in right field every day down the stretch.
And
might win them one more game.
It looks like the Jeffrey Loria era in Miami is over.
Hallelujah.
Derek Jeter, Michael Jordan.
And the worst part is, for as much shit as we give him, he's got 2 rings.
He's got 2 rings.
In his ownership tenure, he's got 2 rings.
I know. It's really quite remarkable.
Makes you want to hurl.
Yep. But yeah, Derek Jeter, Michael Jordan group ended up buying the team. Of course, it has to go through.
It has to be approved by an owners meeting next week, I believe.
Something like that, which it probably will. I'm assuming it will.
How can you say no to the Jeets?
And this is being headed at. They're not going to be majority owners. I believe it's some New York City billionaire that is heading all of this and going to be the majority owner. I don't know his name, but
it's just like Magic is the unofficial owner of the Dodgers.
Yeah, he's a minority. Same thing with Jay-Z with the Brooklyn Nets too.
Yeah.
So, which Beyonce is going to try to get a stake in on the Houston Rockets. I wonder what that's going to do for the relationship. Especially
the Rockets, though.
She's from Houston.
Oh, is she? Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, and the Houston Rockets are going to be pretty good. The Brooklyn Nets are the Brooklyn Nets. So.
Man, can't change where you're from.
God, I would be a couple like that with that much money.
That is fuck you money.
You'd buy the Tigers. I'm assuming. Who would Emily buy?
She doesn't sports ball. She will sit there and watch a baseball game with me without complaint. She'd rather not watch football.
She would buy who you would tell her to buy.
She'd probably invest in something else, but yeah.
Okay. Stupid shit of the week comes from one of my favorite websites to go to with this is Deadspin, and the NCAA's
They're
latest.
A great source for content for stupid shit of the week.
Yeah, and it's not on Deadspin's part. It's the shit that they, some of the stupid shit that they drudge up and they find. And this one, the NCAA's latest sexual violence policy is a joke. And I'm just going to read a couple of lines from it. Coaches, college athletes, and athletics administrators are required to complete education each year in sexual violence prevention. And it says here they're required to do that. The next line goes, as part of the new policy, leaders on each NCAA campus, the school president or chancellor, athletics director, and Title IX coordinator must attest annually that coaches, athletics administrators, and student athletes were educated in sexual violence prevention. They go on to say that's just repeating the first part of the press release. 3 campus officials must clarify that the school's athletics department is knowledgeable about, integrated in, and compliant with institutional policies and processes regarding sexual violence prevention and proper, I can't say this,
adjudication.
Adjudication. There we go.
I don't even have it in front of me.
Yeah,
and
there we go. There you go. I have a hard time pronouncing that. And resolution of acts of sexual violence. And again, that just really repeats the first 2 parts.
Congratulations, NCAA. You're trying to take a victory lap for something you've already been doing for several years.
For years, and then
you've been forced legally to do since what, 2011?
Yeah, and not to mention that whole press release they could have just did in one sentence there. Yet they go on and repeat the same thing over and
That's
over.
That's like running down and doing a touchdown dance for, kicking the ensuing kickoff out of the back of the end zone for a touchback.
Exactly. So that's stupid shit of the week. Moving along to the fan question, Dorf. I want to get your thoughts on this because, like I said, Ben Zobrist was bitching about this. This was it yesterday or this weekend? I believe actually it was Friday or Saturday. Wants to go to the electronic strike zone. Dorf, you do umpiring in your spare time. What are your thoughts on Major League Baseball doing something like this?
Major League Baseball players bitch now about umpires in their strike zones. Then they'll bitch about calibration of sensors and alignment. You know what? This is players just bitching because they're unhappy with the call that was made. You know what? Then it'll be like, at Wrigley Field, those sensors are really wide. Those pitchers in Wrigley are trained because they have an extra 2 inches on the outside of the strike zone because calibration. And then it'll be the same argument with different culprits.
So I was going to say, if it's not one thing, it'll be something else.
It'll be one thing, it'll be something else. I mean, you could, not necessarily against moving to a fully robotic umpiring crew, but at the same time, I don't think it's necessary. I just don't think it's necessary. I mean, you can, but...
It's not like your job would be put in jeopardy. It's not like you're going to be putting sensors in the games that you do.
Yeah, probably not. Fuck if they do. Can I get a piece of that money?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm all for technology in the game and everything, and advancing it as much as you can. But it just seems to be something about baseball, that human element when it comes to calling balls and strikes. Mm-hmm. I mean, knowing what one guy.
And then at the same time, then it'll be fundamentally changing the game, because then the whole idea of having a catcher that can frame the ball and influence umpires, that value is lost.
Yep.
And that'll change what it means to be a catcher going forward, because then all it's about is really keeping the ball in front of you.
Yeah.
You have guys that, fuck receiving. We're just going to, catch and throw it back, or, there'll be different emphasis on what you look for in a catcher.
No, that's a good point. Catchers oftentimes fool you when it comes to framing?
I wouldn't think so.
No?
Let's be real. Most of the time, the level of guys that I end up doing aren't good enough at it, or their pitchers are not throwing hard enough for it to work anyway.
Have you ever had an instance where you fucked up a call and just...
Yeah.
Whatever. Yeah.
I'll tell the guy in front of me, probably missed that one. Nope.
But you don't give up makeup calls, do you?
Nope.
All right.
And you just compound the problem.
All right. Real quick here
People
on
who do makeup calls are spineless bitches.
Really quick here on the news.
Made a mistake. Don't make another one.
Exactly. 2 wrongs don't make a right. Right?
Bingo.
Conor McGregor is still talking shit about, here we go, Dorf, Paulie Malignaggi.
Sure.
Malignaggi.
That guy.
He's like a former welterweight something champion, WBC champion. Anyway,
sparring partner.
Yep, sparring partner left because he got knocked down by Conor McGregor allegedly again. There is video that came out of it. It is disputed video released by Dana White, probably to kind of prop up his MMA guy in Conor McGregor ahead of that fight that's coming up here in a couple of weeks, end of August.
Is that here yet?
Nope, not yet.
Needs to be.
But a lot of people weren't falling for it. People were, the boxing aficionados
out there. So are they out there declaring it fake news?
Well, they weren't decrying it as fake news. They're just kind of
deceptively edited.
They were breaking it down,
taken out of context.
Yep, they were breaking it down, and they weren't impressed by Conor McGregor's skills here. All that being, look, I think Conor McGregor is still the best guy as far as MMA fighters go.
Pound MMA fighter, you could argue, ever.
Well, I'm talking about going and fighting a guy like Floyd Mayweather. If anybody's going to have a chance against Floyd Mayweather in a boxing ring, it's probably going to be a guy like Conor McGregor.
Yep, so absolutely.
I'm not so sure to say Conor McGregor is the greatest MMA fighter to ever live, or if he's even the greatest MMA fighter right now. He's certainly very, very good. One of the best. I don't know if he's the best, though. Anyways.
Okay, fair enough.
Let's see. The NFL is hiring people to work with players and their social media accounts because NFL players need as much babysitting as possible. This comes from Awful Announcing, so go ahead and check it out there. Dorf, did you want to add anything to that?
That's funny. That's it. I source of a couple giggles.
And then finally, a Jets employee was apparently caught boosting the team's preseason attendance numbers by scanning unsold preseason tickets at a one of those little scanning machines outside of MetLife Stadium.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
That came via Busted coverage, so go ahead and check it out there. So, yeah. Ezekiel Elliott's a dirtbag. Jerry Jones is a dirtbag. Got a lot of dirtbags in the NFL, Dorf.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Got a lot of dirtbags everywhere. I think actually dirtbags are, represented less in the NFL than the general United States population.
Yeah.
And stats will back me up on that, unfortunately.
Absolutely.
You just, when they do something stupid, you just hear about it on the news. You don't when everybody else does.
Anyways, I don't know when we're going to be back. We do. So we discussed it earlier. Yep. The 3rd of September?
September 3rd.
September 3rd is when we're going to be back for episode 300. 300 episodes of
That's like 100 times 3.
That is 100 times 3. Very good, Dorf.
Thanks, Dad. I does my multiplications good.
Yep, you're very good at that. You will get a cookie after the show goes off the air.
Oh, I'm so excited.
But like I said, we'll be back September 3rd for the 300th episode. In the meantime, everybody have a great couple of weeks. Have a great Labor Day. Have a safe Labor Day. And so for Dorf, Shawn, who's not here, I am Adam. Bye for now, everybody.
See you in a couple weeks, guys.